Hello and welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you'll be notified anytime I post videos. So, it's been about a week or so since I've been back from vacation, and I thought you guys might be interested in hearing about how much money I actually spent and where I spent it. So, what happened, for those of you who might not know where I went for vacation, I went with my landlords down to Massachusetts for a week, and then we basically drove to Toronto for 3 days, did Canada's Wonderland, Niagara Falls, crossed back into the States to go back to Massachusetts where we could stay a night for free at some friends, and then back up to Canada and back to my hometown. Well, not my hometown, but like where I live now. And so that took, we'll say we were gone 2 weeks pretty much. Less a few days, but close enough. So if you haven't watched any of my previous vacation videos, I will, link the playlist up in this corner here, and 2, you can find them on my channel as well. But I actually came up with a total of, I'm just drawing out that suspense, $620 Canadian. Now, this is going to be an important part, an important thing to remember. The first section, which is the money that was spent by me for the most part, the cash spent by me was spent in that week we were in the States, although because obviously we did go back into the States, I used some of the money then as well. But for the majority, I used it during that week we were staying in Massachusetts. So, altogether, well, not altogether. So meals that I purchased did come to a total of $70 US. This is because we were going down and helping the sister church there. They fed us at least one meal a day, and we usually had a meal at our host families, so we really only had to pay for one meal a day. So if you think about it, that is really $10 a day for meals in the States. For spending, I did spend a little bit more than I had budgeted but that came out of my meals fund, obviously. So I ended up spending $206 US. And that was actually spent more so on souvenirs and gifts for people. I actually didn't buy a whole lot personally for myself, but I still got some cool things, and I will be posting a haul video pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. For entertainment, which included, we did go see the new Spider-Man movie when it came out on the 2nd in Toronto. We went to 2 different amusement parks, Six Flags and Canada's Wonderland, and then we also went to this fun little, it's not an amusement park, but it had activities and it was really cool. We got a really good deal on it. It was awesome. Like, I think it was regular $22.50, and my landlords found a deal on Groupon for with a 50% off coupon, it was $7.50 for me, so that was awesome. So that actually came to a total of $115 US. So altogether, I spent $390 US, which with the exchange rate is around $512 Canadian. So Obviously, there's money left. However, this only really includes when I was in the States and using my cash. So, what I ended up paying to my landlords, because they were the ones who purchased the hotels and paid for gas, and I was just expected for that last few days where we weren't in Massachusetts and therefore it wasn't part of the missions trip. I was expected to pay a quarter of expenses as well as for my own meals and everything. So what happened? So basically what happened is I actually didn't spend a whole lot of money on meals, or I went in on meals with my landlords, and they owed me money at one point, so we just kind of basically traded credits. So yeah, and the reason I was only paying a quarter of the expenses was because they felt that because they had 2 adults and 2 kids, which they were going to count as a third adult, that was more than fair. And honestly, I agreed with them. Like, I was perfectly fine paying only a quarter of expenses. So altogether for hotels, which, oops, I forgot to write down the word hotels. Silly me. I'll do that on the other side. Altogether, I paid $70 in hotels, and this was 2-night stay in one place and 1-night stay. So I mean, for 3 nights in a hotel room to pay a quarter of the expenses, that is actually pretty good. And my landlords were really good. And to boot, both of these hotels had pools and free breakfasts. So that also helped to cut down on my meals, which was great. And we also tried to use leftovers or make our meals out of whatever we happened to have on hand, or any thing we could take from breakfast. So that also helped cut down on meals. So for gas, it was, and these numbers are Canadian, just so you know. $60 for gas for those 4 or 5 days. And then there was one meal where my landlords paid for the entire thing because the bill just came that way. So I just paid for it like that. And actually this should be $20 because I did use my card at one point. And so basically this came to a total of 150 Canadian dollars. So let's do that math, shall we? And honestly, guys, I am so impressed that was, like, I wasn't really gonna look at the breakdown of costs, even though I know you guys would probably be interested. But when they text me the amount that I owed them, I'm just like, okay, I trust you, and like, that's amazing. So it's not over what I thought, but like, I want to see how this isn't as expensive. Like, anyway, shock, awe, and awesomeness. That was what I was in. So altogether, I had 620 Canadian dollars budgeted for vacation. You take away the $512 that was mostly spent in the US or on meals, and the $150 that was spent on the extra days on our trip. I did end up going over budget by $42. However, what I forgot about is I got a GST credit paid by the Canadian government to me. GST credit, because this was $160 and it came in while we were on the trip. So basically, I just took the $42 off of that $160. So yeah, that is my vacation breakdown. I am actually shocked that the extra couple days didn't send me crazy over budget. And as you might be able to tell, I would have been on budget for my meals and spending and entertainment, all that stuff. Especially when you take into consideration that this paid for 2 of the parks, one of which we went to with those extra days. So technically this would have been even lower. And so like I could have done it with that $420 US that I had for my budget. So that is a good thing to know because we do this every year. So next year I'll definitely do my best to get the $620 Canadian, or at least $500 Canadian. So because I know it'll stretch that far. But yeah, so I hope you found this interesting. If you have any questions, comments, whatnot, let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, do subscribe and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified anytime I post, which is generally Tuesdays and Fridays, unless I have something special I want to share with you guys, like this video, for example. And if you want to, please do consider liking and commenting on my videos. I really enjoy interacting with you guys, and I just find it a really fun side to, an encouraging side to YouTube. So yeah, I think I'll stop there. And anyway, until next time, bye!